Guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to tell you the difference between layer blending and burnish blending. So off to the side here, I'm just going to give you a quick example of how it works, how I would do it. A regular, just typical blend. So you would start out with like a gradient, like I showed in the last video. And then you do the same thing for your next color. And you would go into the other color like that. And you'd keep doing that until you got the result you wanted. Or you could just go like this. And keep going in until it just transitions and there's no line in between. So basically, you don't know when the color starts and ends. Okay, so I'm going to be using probably these three colors. And make sure to keep your pencil sharpened. I usually don't sharpen my pencils like this, but I had a pencil sharpener. I didn't have a handheld one, I just had a mechanical one. So I'm just going to use it like this for now. So first we're just going to color the whole thing with our lightest color. I'm going to go in 2 to 3 times with it just to make sure I get the whole layer down. And even everything out. This usually takes the longest time but gives you a pretty good result. And you could color it darker where it's going to be darker. Sort of like a gradient type thing. Now you go in with your second color. And you lay it down to wherever you want it to be. Just gonna go down again with one last layer. If you want, you can put Q-tips to smooth it out a little bit. And then you would take your darkest color. And you would lay it down. Like that. Now I'm just gonna blend the light blue with the darker blue. Slightly. And just get it into everything. And we still see some white spaces, but we're gonna keep repeating the process until we don't see too many white spaces, but without coloring too hard. So I'm just gonna put it into the blue a little bit, starting with the darkest. And now I'm gonna put my blue into here. And get in some of the light blue too. And I'm going to go in again with the light blue. And at this point we're almost done, and we can just repeat the process one more time. Or as many times as you feel you need to. Now without burnishing yet, well, without it doing it at all really, I'm just going to try to get in the lines, sort of thing. And try to make it look as clean as possible. So basically just cleaning everything up, getting rid of as much of the white as we can without going too hard. If you want at the end you can go a little harder, but for the sake of this light type of layering effect, I'm not going to be burnishing. And you'll begin to start to see the layers blend. And at this point you're basically done. And you can keep continuing until you feel like you're ready. Just gonna fix this up a little bit. And add some dark blue up. And finally just make it darker, and I'll be back for the next one. So for blending and burnishing, it's basically coloring hard and blending it in. And it's usually not as smooth as the layer blending, but I kind of just tried something here and noticed it was kind of easier if I went side to side and then lowered the pressure, kind of like going in a gradient, and like blending like this over here, if you were like going, but anyway, so you would burnish it, and I'm gonna say up to here. But usually the colors look more vibrant when you do this. way I like to do it is putting a light layer after it, but you don't have to do that. I just think it helps make the blending look a little better. But if you don't want to do that, then you could just go straight into burnishing into the next color. And I'm gonna go up to like here. And I used the wrong color, but that's okay, I'll just use the middle color on the top. And it doesn't really matter what direction you color usually when you're burnish blending, because it's all just gonna end up getting rid of the white spots. And then usually you just try to get in there until you get rid of that line, which is why I usually like putting a light layer there, because it's not the easiest thing to do. Basically, eventually you could get it the way you want. Like this one kind of came out a little better than from here to here. Really kind of messed up. I should have put the darker color first. But yeah, now I'm just going to show you some examples coloring these things. Okay, so I'm going to use different colors, but this time I'm going to use the same colors for this one. I'm just going to color it the same way for both petals to save time. Basically, I'm just going to color in a circle and fill in the base layer like we did before. Now I'm going to go with my second darkest color. You could do this with 4 colors if you want to, but I'm just going to use 3 for the time that I have, just to keep it short. And you can see it's starting to come out a little bit. Now I'm just going to do the same thing for this petal. And sorry about that. Just gonna color like that, sort of blend these two together, and then eventually blend the whole thing together with the lightest color. There's a transition like this or something like that. I just have to fix this up a little bit since the darkest color doesn't show too well. And you can just burnish it in too, for when you're done layering with the lightest color, to help the look a little bit. Now with different colors, I'm going to use maybe greens, I think. So I'm going to use a dark green, a slightly lighter green, and then a light green. So it could kind of be like a flower petal or something. So I'm setting down that slight gradient over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Starting slightly dark. Then making the pressure lighter as I get where I want. And I'm going to do the same thing. Almost burnishing, but not necessarily on here. And now I'm just going to take my second color and go into this color. I'm going to take my lightest color and sort of try to go into all the colors. Just gonna put some white down on here, and if you want you could put white down on the whole thing, but that'll be another type of blending that I'll go over in another video. Oh wait, yeah. I was supposed to start out with the darkest color, but kind of ended up starting with the lightest. Now I'm just gonna start like that, and I'm just gonna burnish the last color in, sort of go like that, and yeah. So these are the two ways that you can blend with burnishing and layering.